Yeah.
I follow you up to there, but doesn't that lead us to a paradox? That the people who listen to you, who come to this school, who listen to you in India or California, do they not regard you as a signpost in a pathless land?
I've always said there is no authority, including myself. I'm not your leader, guru, and all that nonsense. I really mean it. For me, that's an abomination.
From my memory, if memory serves me right, Jiddu Krishnamurti was almost indoctrinated into his culture believing that he was some type of god or a reincarnation of someone who was a god. And it seems here that he's showcasing that that's false. That's a false narrative, and that he doesn't have anything intentionally more special or a given authority over others, probably beyond just his own dominion over himself. I love this because I think a lot of us get trapped into following gurus, which, again, we all need teachers in life. We all need coaches. We all need people who've done the work before us, who have gone through the experiences that can share their wisdom. I mean, this is what we ask for, of course. But to think that they're superior to you is, I think, a mistake because it limits your own resources from within.
To me, that's the original sin, if I can so put it. Each man must be a light to himself.
Each man must be a light to himself.
Right? Because freedom is necessary. Freedom from one's conditioning.
Beautiful.
Freedom from all the travail of that is part of our consciousness.
But really, how can someone who speaks as powerfully as you do, who thinks as clearly as you do, not be regarded as a leader by lesser men?
So at every talk, at every discussion, I say this. Don't do it. Be careful. Don't. You follow? It's so silly. Because you're destroying yourself. You're following. I mean, what?
You're destroying yourself by following another and thinking that they have some superiority to you. And I think the spiritual journey really has awakened me to not do that with anyone, to have full autonomy in the sense that we're all equals on this planet, from someone who is a low caste or low income or, to, someone running a body of government or a country. We have to get over this idea that there's authority that resides outside of ourselves. It diminishes our own light. It diminishes our own divinity. And we need to cultivate that strength of greatness within us that we're all intrinsically tethered to. And so he finds this question to be silly. And I love this.
Kay is talking about may be utterly false. Begin with skepticism. Don't accept anything, including what I'm saying.
Be your own authority.
Work it out. Let's discuss it. Let's go into it together. So that there is no you as the leader and I the follower.
Beautiful.
We are together in this beastly business of living.
Beautiful. And I think when we're younger and we're less wise, we do think that people who have X, Y, and Z are somehow more special, more anointed, more intelligent. I want to tell you a quick story about intelligence because I believe it can be cultivated. I believe it can be accessed. Okay. If you don't feel you're bright or smart or extremely intelligent, that's a block in your energetic system, in your mental faculties, okay? That is by design, by your truth. I was in school, a very BC student, growing up all the way from kindergarten. I almost flunked kindergarten. I couldn't learn my ABCs. I was always behind. I didn't really have an interest in all that until 7th grade. And for some reason, I saw the valedictorian of our high school in this town of 1,000 people give his valedictory speech. It was to a packed gymnasium, and that was the biggest stage I had ever seen, and saw someone give a speech and move a whole gymnasium packed of the town. The whole town was there in my mind. And he just spoke about the future and how bright it was going to be, and et cetera, et cetera. And I just think about how I wanted to be that guy. But the only way to be that guy was to be smart. And I wasn't smart. And so I decided that I was going to be smart. I also was overweight. I would love to go to city pool and swim during the summers, but I wouldn't take off my shirt because I was embarrassed by my belly, just the way I looked. I was very insecure. And I just made a decision within myself that I was going to redefine my physical body. I was going to become the best athlete I could. I also quit 6th grade basketball at this time because we played shirts and versus skins back then. And the starters had to be the skins. And so I had to practice with my shirt off. And that was humiliating enough that I gave up the number one thing that I absolutely enjoyed the most. And I hated myself. And so I decided that when I jumped into junior high, not that I needed to, but I was for becoming a valedictorian in my high school, but I decided that I was going to get all A's. I was going to get all A's from 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade. And I didn't care how long I needed to study. I didn't care how long it was going to take. And in the beginning, I was really convincing myself I didn't believe it at all. And it wasn't until probably almost my junior year that I started to believe that, holy crap, I can maybe become the valedictorian. But I also always kept it alive in me. I always knew deep down I was going to be it. And through all those entire grades, I was an all-A student. What happened? How did I get more smart? I applied myself, and the more you apply and the more you retool yourself, the more you access different parameters in your mind. And so things that were always hard became very easy. I started paying more attention to things. I started doing the work required. And I was such an average guy. I should have never been the valedictorian. So my point here is that we all have unlimited, untapped potential in us. And it's our smallness of feeling like everyone else is a deity or a guru, or they have something that we don't have. And that's such a limited vantage point. You have to know that fundamentally, you were born with the same hardware and innate tools in this spiritual, the things that we're connected to, the cosmos, whatever. We can't have life without, we think we're just this independent human body. But if we didn't have the earth, we could not sustain life. The earth is part of our totality. You're not just this body. And so if there's this convergence of energy systems out there in the world, perhaps you're much more grander and bigger than you potentially could conceptualize. And I think part of the spiritual process is removing the limited boundaries that we've placed upon us as being just human. And I'd like to redefine that being just human is being superhuman. You have these superhuman capabilities within you. And you may not come from an environment that fosters that. So you have to do the work. You have to remove the limited ways of how you self-acknowledge and come up with a completely bigger self-conceptualization, that you have the divine spark and that you can create, orchestrate, and be and become anything that you choose to be. If that's a guru, if that's someone just living in the country, content with a secluded life, that's great. You don't need material successes, but life is a big game. It's a big journey, and you have so much potential. And I want you to honor that, and I want you to start eradicating here in 2025 that's coming up, these small limited ways of thinking. Oh, I'm just from this country, and my family's this. I understand that. Believe me, I came from a small town that felt like it was far removed from the rest of the world. I felt there's so many people better than me. And the more I adopted this fundamental belief that it wasn't about a competition out there, it was about a competition of my lower self. And the kid who was always scared of trying. because he didn't believe in himself. And the person on the other side of that, the person who was the adult who had no fear, who was fearless, who got up every day and did everything he could to obtain his vision. A man who honored himself fully. And I strive every day to come from that place. I have a emotional body that's attached to my ego, that's afraid of the world. And if I enlarge that voice by thinking and obsessing over my feelings and all the risks out there, I'll never be this guy. And so every day I wake up and I strive to be this guy. And the more I contemplate him and think about him, I become him. The more you contemplate and think about your visions, life somehow, your mind somehow correlates to that vision. So to me, I believe we're attracting outcomes consciously or unconsciously. So I suggest is that we create visions of our life. If you want to have a beautiful family, if you want to be rich and successful, if you want to be a motivational speaker, you don't have to think that you can't. You just have to apply. And it takes years and years of building anything, right? But that's the beautiful thing about life is nothing's given freely. Everything has to be earned. Everything has to be obtained. And if we're not earning and striving towards a higher level, we're fundamentally degrading ourselves or degenerating. We never stay the same. Okay, especially the human brain. It's always malleable. It's always ever changing. And if we have the gutter mentality and we're not upgrading our mindset by consciously striving towards not to get rid of the lower self, we're never going to reach those higher states of consciousness, those healthier states of consciousness, where you feel at ease, where you feel peace, where you feel strong, empowered, anointed, protected, fearless, that all things flow and you're just part of the cosmic flow and it's all being worked out for you and you get to enjoy the ride. But it doesn't mean you can be lazy. It means you got to do the work required in life, this beautiful forge of existence where we forge and iron ourselves into something very beautiful and very special. And that takes commitment. It takes mental labor. It takes physical labor. And that's the beautiful thing about life. And guys, it's just a blip. It's just a blip. So let's get out of our lower selves. Stop feeling so low about ourselves. Stop feeling so low about life and start really thriving again in 2025. I love you guys. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I'll catch you on the next one. Oh, and also please like, please subscribe, please comment. All that helps the algorithm to push us out to more people. And also there's a donate link below if you feel like you'd like to donate to the page. Appreciate you guys so much. Take care and bye-bye.